Hey Garrison, you can edit this like starting transition out. Alright, welcome to the video. We're going to be talking about all the Pokemon being added to the new Sword and Shield DLC that we know about so far from trailers and the website and all that stuff. I found this list on Cerebi.net and I've got the Showdown Team Builder over here so I can double check stats and all that stuff when I need to, or if I can show like combos and stuff that I think might be interesting. And yeah, I'm just gonna work through all the Pokemon in here that could be viable in Pokemon VGC doubles. I'm not gonna talk about legendaries, and I'm only gonna talk about unevolved Pokemon if they're like notable. So, starting off, we've got Nidoqueen and Nidoking. These Pokemon, I don't see them being super viable. They're not super fast. I don't think they get like any notable flying type moves, so they don't get like a really strong max airstream for this generation. They do a lot of damage, especially off of sheer force, like with special attacks and stuff. But it's not like incredible, especially for this generation. There's a lot of hard-hitting Pokemon running around, and then they do have a decent supportive move pool. They've got a lot of good stuff like a Helping Hands, Icy Wind, Bulldoze, all those things. So you might like a Poison Point support set might be interesting. That might be something you see, but overall, I don't see them being super common. Golbat might be interesting. He might pop up every now and then. 90 base speed isn't amazing, but he's got solid bulk for an unevolved Pokemon, so you can run like an EVO like Golbat. Inner Focus and Infiltrator are both very good abilities, though I think Inner Focus is probably better for Golbat. It just makes it so that he cannot be flinched ever, which means he's pretty much not bothered by Fake Out at all. Rock Slide has no chance to flinch him. Any other random moves that might have a flinch chance, you just don't have to worry about it, which is really nice in VGC because there's a lot of moves that can flinch running around. Poison Flying is a pretty good typing offensively for this format. If you Dynamax it, you get a Stab Max Airstream and Stab Max Ooze, which is really nice. Max Ooze boosts Special Attack, Max Airstream boosts Flying, or boosts Speed. And while you're not doing the most damage with either one of those are still nice effects to have for your team. So we might see some like supportive Golbat and like might do something to Dynamax every now and then. But Golbat's really good at just being a bulky Pokemon that kind of sticks around for a few turns. It sets speed control with Tailwind, and it can chip away at the opponents with like Super Fang or Toxic. And then it has Roost, so it can live for a while too. It also gets U-Turn, if you want to use that. I don't think I usually see Golbats with U-Turn like in the past, but it could be a thing. So moving on, we have Golduck. Golduck, in past generations, has been one of the better Swiss Swim Pokemon in like Gen 7 or early Gen 7 with like the restricted decks. So we could see it being useful here, but I feel like with all the strong like just Swiss Swim sweepers we've got right now, Golduck's probably going to be a little less used. Like 85 base speed is very good for under Swift Swim. Like if you really want to, you could just not invest in that at all, and you're still outspeeding a lot of stuff. But 95 special attack isn't like incredible damage output, but when you're throwing out like Hydro Pumps under Rain, that's gonna do a lot of damage still. Like super effective Ice Beams are still gonna do solid damage. And then Golduck also gets some good like disruptive moves. It gets Encore, it gets Disable if you want to run that. So Golduck could see some niche usage, but I think other Swift Swim Pokemon are probably going to overshadow it. But then the other thing Golduck can do is Cloud 9. It does get Cloud 9. which with all the weather running around, some people might want the Cloud9 to just not have to worry about opponent's weather. Especially if you're running like a lot of grass types, but you're not really running any grass types that like abuse the sun, you might want to run Cloud9 just so that your opponent's not getting that fire type damage boost or other stuff like that. That's like a really simple, like probably not realistic reason for why somebody might run Cloud9, but you know, that's just kind of an example. Alright, so moving on to Poliwrath, I feel like it's going to be outclassed by other Swift Swim Pokemon, especially like Barraskewda. Barraskewda is just faster, it does more damage, and like it also has the option to ignore stuff like Follow Me with its other ability. It's not Swift Swim. But on Poliwrath's benefits are it's a little bulkier than Barraskewda. 90, 95, 90 is not super amazing, but like you're gonna live like a stray hit. You're not taking like a max lightning or thunder or anything, but like if you switch in on like a fire or ground move, you'll be fine, generally speaking. And then 95 attack, again, kind of like Golduck, that's not amazing, but that's usable, especially when you're doing like stab, water type moves that are being boosted under the rain. And on top of that, you also get fighting stab, which is nice. That means stab max knuckle, which also boosts your attack. And then it also means like just having another fighting type in the format. That's just a nice option to have. I don't think anybody's gonna run Poliwrath, but Poliwrath might be an interesting choice for some people on rain teams. Here we got Slowbro here. Slowbro's got a really good ability. Oblivious makes it so that you can't be taunted or infatuated. So Slowbro is basically guaranteed to be able to set Trick Room as long as he doesn't get faked out. So if you run Slowbro next to like a Psychic trained Pokemon or next to like something like Quick Guard, you basically have a guaranteed Trick Room. Because with 95 hit points, 110 defense, 80 special defense, there's not very many Pokemon that can be able to just KO you outright. Like maybe there's probably some, like your Water Psychic's not the best defensive typing, so you might take like 2 super effective hits and not make it. But that's still solid bulk. And then 100 special attack is definitely usable. Especially with that 30 base speed, you're just going to be a solid, bulky Trick Room Pokemon that can set Trick Room, that's immune to taunt, which is really nice. But then on the other end of that, you could also run Regenerator instead. So like you can just switch in on weak hits, not have to worry about that damage sticking when you switch out. Regenerator is just a solid ability, especially in doubles. Well, yeah, it's good in doubles and singles, but it's very good in general. And Slowbro's probably just going to be a solid Pokemon. Even if like his Galarian form isn't good, we might see some usage from this form. Yeah, we don't really know anything about the Galarian form yet, as far as I'm aware. Outside of it has a signature move and it looks cool. Magneton, I think its hit points are too low for it to be really good in this format. Like 95-70 boosted by Eviolite, it's gonna be really nice, but I don't like 120 special attack is also pretty good, but it only has 70 base speed and it only has 50 base hit points, and that's just not. I don't think that's gonna be enough for it to be usable, especially with its like really limited move pool. Like it really only gets like electric moves, flash cannon, and like tri attack, and like those are good moves, but there's not enough versatility in that type of move set, I think. So I don't think Magneton's going to get used much, but I don't know. Executors is interesting. I'm going to pull up Showdown so I can look at both forms of it. So first off, I'm going to look at Kanto Executor first. So Chlorophyll on a 55 base speed is not amazing, but that it is usable. If you invest fully into speed, you will outspeed Tapu Koko, you will outspeed a lot of pretty fast Pokemon under the sun. You get Stab Energy Ball, Stab Giga Drain, Leaf Storm, Leech Seed, You get screens, which is nice, in doubles. You do get Moonlight if you're running like a bulkier set. I don't know that you would want to necessarily. And you get the standard Psychic stuff. And you do have Sleep Powder, which is a nice alternative to Venusaur. But Venusaur is just faster. I think Venusaur is a little bulkier, if I remember correctly. And Venusaur has a better offensive typing. I think Venusaur just kind of invalidates Executor in this format, at least as far as a Chlorophyll Pokemon goes. But another option is the Pokemon has, one thing it gets over Venusaur is that it learns Trick Room, so it can be a decent Trick Room setter. Like 55 base speed isn't like ideal for Trick Room, that's a little on the faster end, but that's not unusable. You can definitely make that work. And then you still have Sleep Powder. You have do you have any good moves? You have Gravity. Gravity's useful. Like Gravity Hypnosis is a thing, or since you have Sleep Powder, Gravity Sleep Powder is going to be like almost guaranteed Sleep Powders. That'll be nice. You do get Gravity Hypnosis, so if you don't want to deal with grass types, you can run that instead. You get Infestation to do like chip damage and trap stuff and make it hard for your opponent to really switch defensively. So you do get Psych Up if you're running like one of those types of teams, a Baton Pass team or something. And then Skill Swap. So Skill Swap might actually, Pokemon that can like manipulate abilities might be worth looking out for in this next format because of Urshifu. Urshifu's new ability lets it do damage through Protect and through Max Guard. And we don't know how much damage it does. We don't know if it's 100% damage or like 50% damage. But either way, people aren't going to want that like be an active thing. So Pokemon that can like steal that ability or overwrite that ability might start getting some usage. So Executor does get Skill Swap, so like you might see some like Chlorophyll Executors running Skill Swap to just try and like come in, take their Urshifu's ability, then get out. And like the same thing with Worry Seed, you do give it Insomnia, which means you can't put it to sleep, but sometimes that's better than whatever the opponent's ability is. So yeah, Executor's got some stuff it can do. And then Alolan Executor, it's a little slower, so it's better under Trick Room. It still gets Trick Room. You can run it physical or special, like it gets just better offensive stats overall. You do get Brick Break, which is really nice with all the screens running around, like Alolan Gigantamax Lapras is running around and doing stuff. Dragon Hammer, or you get Dragon coverage in general, so that's just nice to have, and you get stab off of it. You pretty much get all the same stuff as standard Executor, but like you can kind of just open up your physical move pool. Like you can run Knockoff, you can run Power Whip, and then because you're slower, you're just better under Trick Room. Oh, and you have Frisk. Frisk is a very good ability in doubles. I don't think it could be like understated how good Frisk is, because basically you just come in and both Pokemon on your opponent's team, you automatically know their items. So like leading with a Frisk Pokemon is very strong, because just off the bat you know exactly what your opponent's leading and you know what your opponent's Pokemon can do. So like if your opponent leads a Whimsicott and you're not sure what the Whimsicott's doing, if you lead a Frisk against it, you can be like, oh, that Whimsicott has an eject button. Now I know that that Whimsicott can get rid of my Dynamax Pokemon if I Dynamax this turn, so I should probably get rid of that Whimsicott so I don't have to worry about it giving me an eject button, and stuff like that. So Frisk is just a really useful ability in that sense. And then obviously Harvest is very good, especially on some teams, but just in general it's very good. It's just solid. You just get a lot of mileage off of it, especially if you're running like Protect or Substitute or something. You just get your berry back, and that's really useful. Honestly, with any berry, like you can run like a stat boosting berry, and then you just get stats over time if you're like not feeling threatened or whatever. But then you can also just run like a citrus berry, which is like the standard. That's what's normal usually. So yeah, that can be useful.